For 97% of people, life unfolds inside a narrow psychological cage, an unseen program designed by evolution, reinforced by society, and mistaken for the full human experience. That trap, survival consciousness, an ancient operating system built for staying alive, not for inner peace, not for fulfillment. But here's the truth: consciousness isn't fixed, it evolves, it expands. There are higher levels, profound stages of perception most never touch, not because they're unreachable, but because no one told us they existed. Imagine learning that your thoughts, feelings, and worldview are just one layer of a vast spectrum. That beyond fear, beyond ego, beyond emotional reactivity, there are realms where connection deepens, suffering dissolves, and reality itself feels different. This is your map. We'll trace the 6 major levels of consciousness, from primitive survival instincts to cosmic awareness and beyond. This isn't spiritual poetry. These stages shape everything: how you love, suffer, grow, and search for meaning. Level 1, survival consciousness. This is where human awareness began, not in temples or libraries, but in the jungle. The oldest brain structures, the brainstem and limbic system, govern this level. Hunger, fear, desire, and pain run the show. Every threat is magnified. Every craving feels urgent. React first, think later. Even in modern life, this ancient system whispers, get more, stay safe, win status. Why does traffic make your heart race? Why does rejection feel like death? Because survival consciousness still rules millions today. Level 2, emotional consciousness. When basic needs are met, emotion rises: desire, jealousy, anger, fear. Now the mind reacts not just to danger, but to memories, shame, imagined threats. The amygdala constantly scans for trouble. Social rejection triggers fight or flight. Love becomes addiction. Criticism feels like abandonment. People don't make choices. They react over and over. This is where identity forms, built from trauma, defense, and craving. It feels normal, but it's a loop. Recognizing the loop is the first break in the wall. Level 3, rational consciousness. This is where the game changes. The mind steps back, observes, thinks, questions. Emotion no longer dominates. Logic takes the wheel. We analyze, build systems, invent, and progress. The mantra becomes, I think, therefore I am. Here, modern civilization thrives: science, medicine, industry. But this level has its own illusion: the belief that reason is the summit. We mistake thinking for truth, knowledge for peace. The ego becomes sharper, fortified by intellect. We reflect, but we also ruminate. We separate rather than connect. Level 4, heart-centered consciousness. Eventually, the intellect exhausts itself. You realize answers don't satisfy, and so the walls soften. Compassion emerges, not as effort, but as instinct. People are no longer roles or rivals, but reflections. Judgment fades, connection deepens. Here, the shift is not upward, but inward. From mind to heart, from knowing to being. Spiritual traditions call this the beginning of true awakening. Level 5, cosmic consciousness. Now, the illusion of separation begins to collapse. There's no longer a you observing the world. There's just experience, interconnected, infinite. Brain scans of advanced meditators reveal the default mode network, linked to ego, quieting. Time dissolves. Identity fades. You don't just see unity, you become it. There is nowhere to go, no self to protect, just presence. This is not escape, it's arrival. Level 6, non-dual consciousness. Even the distinction between self and universe disappears. There is no experiencer, only experience. No observer, only observation. Words fail here. Language belongs to duality. What remains is silence, alive, full, eternal. This level isn't a prize, it's a disappearance. The self was always an illusion, but you had to journey through it to see that. But here's what no one tells you: you won't stay there. Even after moments of awakening through meditation, psychedelics, loss, or grace, life pulls you back. Bills still come. Arguments still happen. Old wounds return. The mind reforms. The ego rebuilds, sometimes wearing spiritual armor. This is the final trap, thinking you've arrived. Real growth is not how high you float, but how deeply you return. Can you meet the mundane with presence? Can you bring the memory of unity into traffic, grief, taxes? That's the real work. Consciousness isn't a ladder, it's a spiral. You rise, you fall, you forget, you remember. Each return brings a little more awareness, a little less fear, and slowly the shape of your life begins to change. Not toward perfection, but towards something more real, more alive, more human. Like and subscribe.